Namaste. My name is Asher. Thank you for joining me today for a mini yoga sequence revolving around the heart chakra. To begin with, I invite you to join me in the lotus position by sitting tall on our sit bones and guiding the heel of each foot to rest against the underside of each thigh. Then placing each hand palm up on the thighs. Let's begin here by just taking a moment to close our eyes and take a couple of deep breaths to really allow ourselves to be present in this moment. And on our next inhale, opening our eyes. And I invite you to repeat the following heart chakra mantra after me. I am worthy and able to give and receive love unconditionally. And I feel a sense of peace and calm within my heart. And on our next inhale, bringing ourselves to a hands and knees position into tabletop, ensuring that the wrists are stacked directly under the shoulders and the knees stacked directly under the hips. And ensuring that our hands and our feet are about hip width apart. Now, if you have sore knees, feel free to either fold your yoga blanket in to double up, or feel free to use a folded blanket underneath your knees for support. So guiding our chin slightly in, coming to a flat back position. On our next inhale, we'll reach our heart center forward, arching our back into a cat position, lifting the head and throat, pushing against the ground with our legs and our hands. And on the next exhale, rounding the back, allowing the head to lower. Again, pushing against the ground. And let's repeat this for 3 to 5 breaths. And on our next inhale, coming to a flat back position again, tucking the chin in slightly, tucking the toes underneath us, lifting the hips to the sky, straightening the legs, ensuring to keep a slight micro bend in the knees to avoid locking the joints, and guiding the chin in again to ensure that the head is not just hanging. No worries if your heels do not touch the ground. And we'll hold this for 3 to 5 breaths. And on our next inhale, lifting our right leg, turning at the hip so that our body is now facing forward, straightening that right leg out, keeping that left leg bent. If this feels okay in your body, feel free to join me in arching your back and reaching that right arm back. If this pose does not feel comfortable for you, please feel free to either remain like this as we begin, or to stay in downward dog. And on the next inhale, twisting that right leg back around and returning to a downward dog position. We'll now switch sides by raising that left leg, turning at the hip so that the body is facing outwards, lifting that left arm up, straightening that left leg, arching the back, and looking towards the ceiling. And on the next inhale, releasing Wild Thing to come back into a downward dog pose. And from here, shifting the body weight forward, pushing the legs back. Again, ensuring the wrists are stacked under the shoulders. Please join me in a plank. If your wrists do not feel good like this, feel free to lower yourself onto your forearms. And if that doesn't feel good for you, feel free to rest in a child's pose, legs bent, feet tucked under the bottom, arms extended forward, forehead on floor. Lowering all the way to the ground from plank, forehead on the ground, keeping our palms on either side of us, arms bent, elbows pulled in towards us. On our inhale, lifting ourselves up into a low cobra, ensuring to use our abdomens and pushing our legs into the ground to lift us up. There should be no pressure on your arms. And then exhaling down. Let's repeat this for 3 to 5 breaths. And on the next inhale, we're going to bring our arms shoulder width apart, palms down, elbows stacked underneath the shoulders at a right degree angle, pushing into the ground with our feet, and really lengthening through the spine. in a Sphinx pose. And again, please hold this for 3 to 5 breaths. And on the next exhale, release down. Inhale to a hands and knees position. Again, ensuring legs are hip width apart, knees are stacked under the hips. Going to lower down onto our forearms and stretch our arms all the way out. Bring our forehead to the floor in a melting heart or puppy pose. If you experience any tingling in your arms, try moving them further away or bending one arm and leaving one straight and alternating between the two. And on our next inhale, please join me in standing tall on our knees, lifting our arms up to the sky and reaching them behind us towards the heels. If this doesn't feel comfortable in your body, feel free to rest your hands on your thighs or your hips as you shine your heart forward. And ensure that we're looking up towards the ceiling and not just letting our head hang. Please join me in holding this for 3 to 5 breaths. And on the next inhale, again standing tall on our knees, bringing the toes together, knees apart, and bringing our arms all the way down, palms down on the ground, forehead on the ground. Let's rest for a minute in extended child's pose. And finally, please join me in rolling over onto our backs, moving into corpse pose. Laying with the legs hip width apart, arms at our sides, palms up. Really allowing ourselves to sink into the ground and trusting that we are held by the earth. Focusing on our breathing, focusing on the feelings in our body. Really allowing ourselves to integrate our yoga experience. And in your own time, whenever you're ready, please feel free to start wiggling the feet and the hands, maybe rotating the ankles and the wrists, slowly coming into a seated position again. And please just take a moment to thank yourself and express some gratitude for taking the time today to really exercise some self-care and to take some you time. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.